If you have any questions about the Content Strategy Blueprint course, please ask your questions underneath the video here. And I do believe a little birdie told me that we might also be live on YouTube at the same time using the wonderful powers of Restream.io. We might be live on YouTube, and so I'm just double checking on YouTube here. So here we go. We are live on YouTube. There we go. That is a true story. If you are on YouTube watching, there we go. Let me just turn my phone down. If you're on YouTube watching, please leave a question in the chat there, or if you're watching this on Facebook, then leave a question underneath the video, and we will endeavour to answer those questions. But one of the most common questions that we've had overnight, we opened these doors about midnight, our time, Australia, and so I woke up this morning to a bunch of questions in our support chat. And one of the most common questions is, what if I'm not a very good copywriter? What does that mean in terms of my content strategy? And you've got a brilliant answer to this question, which also happens to be the truth. Would you like to share that with us?
Yes. So my answer is that this course is not going to make you a brilliant copywriter. And I would almost argue that unless copywriting comes naturally to you, it's actually very hard to make you an amazing copywriter. However, I've got something even better, because this course is going to help you create engagement, authority, conversions in spite of not being a good copywriter. Because there are plenty of people out there who can't string a set of amazing words together, like some brilliant copywriters can do. And yet they have massive success because they understand how to drive a conversation, how to position themselves in the market, and the conversations they should start so that the pressure is taken off of them to be the one that says all the right things. And they create a space where their audience actually says all the things that are needed to be said to sell for them. It's this beautiful thing. So I would say a good content strategy, and what this course teaches actually helps you to run a better, more effective, more efficient, and more sales worthy and, fan-based, amazing business in spite of not being the best copywriter.
Yeah. It's like copy is just one ingredient in an overall content strategy, right? And so sure, being a good copywriter will serve you well and is a good skill to have, but it's just one ingredient, and it alone will not actually help you convert more people into subscribers and convert subscribers into customers. I just want to say a big shout out to Jeffrey Patch, Samantha Brooke Johnston. Oh, Samantha Johnston's watching. And Andrew Voirol, I think that's how I say your name. Andrew Voirol says, hello, a bit late, but I'm here. So we are live on Facebook. I can verify that.
By the way, I wanted to add that I have an amazing content writer, and there are some times when she'll write amazing content, and in the particular, we're putting in the Facebook group or somewhere, and it's story based and it's beautiful and it's amazing, and it converts at a fraction of the amount as a well positioned question. Right. And one of the things we teach you in this course is what exact questions you need to be asking and how you need to be asking them to get insane amounts of engagement. And we're talking the tactics that we talk about, we get people to use in our Boss Moms group and out in their spaces. And they're getting hundreds of comments. Our top engagers in our Facebook group that use these tactics get 800 plus comments on one post in our Facebook group.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. And that is not the well-written stuff. That's the stuff that feels off the cuff. And we teach you how to be off the cuff in a planned, strategic way. So everybody else thinks it's the thing that just came top of mind, and they don't know that it's very strategically placed. And that's the brilliance of it. And
this is one of the things. Hey, a big shout out to Angie Neal, says, need this yesterday. And I see you've already bought Content Strategy Blueprint. Well done, Angie Neal. And Yogesh Sharma is here from India watching, bit late, but I'm here. Mike Mitchell is also watching. Urano Gonzalez says, hi, I'm here from Mexico City. Cody Stinson is also watching. Maribel Abuto says, hello. Jeffrey Patch says, sup, party people. Corey says, nice idea. Hashtag stealing that for sure. Re your question. Now, here's the thing that we talked about a lot, that a lot of people tend to see tactics being deployed on, particularly online in social media and on email campaigns, right? And they go, oh, wow, look at that subject line. I mean, in fact, there are people giving away and selling lead magnets and tripwire products that are just subject lines, right? And on their own, good subject lines will help you with open rates, but that's all they'll do, right? So a lot of people see tactics and go, ooh, I'm going to copy that tactic because that seems to work. But what they're missing is the rest of the tactics that work together with that tactic to form an overarching strategy. So can you just explain, for the people who don't know the difference, and I mean this respectfully, I didn't know the difference between the tactic and the strategy until I did know the difference, right? So for those that don't know, what is the difference between a strategy and a tactic?
Yeah. So, okay, let me use, I want to start with a conversation you and I had a while back, which is, and it's end of day. So they're like kids running around my neighborhood. If anybody hears them, they're not my kids. I'm like, guys, I'm going to get on a live. You just go play and it'll be fine. So one of the things that we had talked about is, hey, we get a lot of questions about how do I warm my leads because I want to sell them something, right? And I made the comment that you don't need to warm your leads. When you have the right content strategy, your leads are always warm. They're always warm. And that's one of the big differences, I think, between tactics and a strategy. A tactic is something that has very short-term benefits, and it's something you could do, and you can see some traction, and then it dies. A strategy is a long-lasting look and view of a journey that somebody takes. You don't have to rewarm a lead when you're using a good content strategy. That lead is always trying to figure out a way to work with you, trying to figure out a way to share with you, wondering when you're going to come out with your next thing, right? We are talking people that build a loyalty and trust and excitement for you, people that want to do things to just be in your world and experience you and hang out with you and tell everybody about you. And so a strategy actually builds a relationship with people, right? A tactic is like going out on a date, and a strategy is like go with plans to move in together and get married.
Yes. So this is a nice segue into an example I wanted to share. When I first met my wife, she wasn't my wife at the time. When I first met my girlfriend, who is now my wife, in fact, when I met her, she wasn't even my girlfriend. When I first met Amy, who became my girlfriend and then my wife, she was at university and she was studying to become a psychologist, and she did the full 6 years, and now she is a practicing psychologist. But she was in first year when I met her, and she had come back from overseas. She'd moved back in with her mum. She was going to university as a mature age student, and my strategy was to basically feed her through first year university and lure her in, right, and support her through first year uni. And so my tactics and my strategy actually was to get her to move in with me and eventually marry me and have my children, and it's worked. The tactic was I would text her and say, hey, tonight I'm making pan-fried salmon on a white bean puree, and there's enough for two. Would you like to join me? Knowing that full well that she had to basically come past my place on her way home from uni, and it was very easy for her to stop in, have dinner, have a glass of wine, stay the night. So the tactic was part of a greater strategy. In that process, I developed a whole bunch of meals that became my arsenal of meals. Amy will tell you that the moment we got married, I stopped cooking, which is true. And she says to me, you never cook the salmon and white bean puree anymore. And I say, well, I don't need to because you finished university and we now have a child. And so I'm too busy changing nappies. So that's the difference between a strategy and a tactic. Just wanted to share that story. Now, here's a genuine question from Jackie Kearslake. Says, Dana, are some audiences more shy than others? For example, would the social audience of a dental practice be as responsive as the WP Elevation audience, for example? Great question.
The answer is yes and yes. So absolutely, there are audiences that are going to engage in different ways. So what I usually say is an audience, when we're talking about a problem that somebody's solving, some support system that you have, there's the three things. There is that they are vocal and open about that struggle or that problem. They are secretive about that struggle or that problem, or they are not even conscious that they have the struggle or the problem. They haven't even admitted it yet, right? You have to know, like, if people say, hey, I want to do a group for, a group for abused women or something like that. Those women are very secretive and they feel very timid and they have a little trust level, right? versus somebody that wants to talk about design. You're going to have a different level of trust. So it's less about being timid and it's more about how do we create trust. So one of the things that we talk about in this course is that trust and value is very important to engagement and authority and how we build connection with people in our content strategy. So understanding how people trust, where they are in that trust spectrum in our content strategy is really helpful. So we know how to then ask the right kind of questions and create the right kind of space for them, whether that's in a group or on a page or in your email, so that they can feel trust. And as soon as they start to feel trust, it might take a little bit longer, but they will engage. You also have to figure out what they want to engage with. Right? Because some people want to engage all business, some people all life, some people a mix. And one of the things we teach you is about how to do a thing called permission content. Right? And permission content is helping them feel a sense of belonging to whatever it is you're doing. So for Boss Mom, we do things like tell women, you can go cry in the bathroom in the morning because the last night was really hard with the kids being up all night or whatever it was, and then dry your eyes and get on a client call and be an intelligent, insanely awesome woman. Those two things can happen within the same hour. You cannot cry out your intelligence. What I'm doing is giving them permission to be a hot mess, right? So that they don't feel ashamed of it. So what we want to do is create a space where people don't feel ashamed about who they are and what they are, so that timidness is able to fall away. And then we can create an openness for any industry in any space.
Love it. Hey, Sheila Hash is watching on YouTube. Hello, Sheila. Sheila says, super excited about this course. Thanks for joining in the conversation over there on YouTube. Now, a couple of questions here back on the old Facebook, if I just pull this up. Oh, by the way, Brian Fact Funk, who I must say I think has the coolest name I've ever come across. His middle name is spelled Fact, spelled P-H-A-C-T. Brian Fact Funk is watching on Twitter from Boise, Idaho. Say hello to Russell Brunson. I believe Russell Brunson's based in Boise. Is that right? Or is he Utah? I can't remember. Angie Neal is watching from Scarborough in Queensland. Jackie's in Canberra, by the way. Angie, someone had a sneaky peek at the link. By the way, the link to... Oh, Jackie says, what a brilliant answer. Thanks, Dana. There you go. Well, plenty more where that came from inside the Content Strategy Blueprint course. Ba-dum-tsh. The link to the course will be somewhere below this video, I believe. I do believe the WPE crew will post that soon. It is a long URL. So get your pens out. It's courses.wpelevation.com/content-strategy. That's right. courses.wpelevation.com/content-strategy with a trailing slash being optional. Kath Hughes is also watching. Hello, Kath. Welcome to the program. Now, there was a question I had. I have this weird, just to touch that point you were saying about the, people who aren't aware they have a problem or they're, shy about the problem. The engagement around, I have this weird condition with my ears called eustachian tube dysfunction, right? Which basically means what happened is I flew into Los Angeles about almost 5 years ago. And when you descend on a plane and your ears equalise and they pop? Well, mine didn't pop and they haven't popped since, right? So for the last 5 years, I've basically been living with what to me sounds like a bucket over my head, only when I talk. So when you talk, it sounds fine. When I talk, it sounds like I've got a bucket over my head. And I've spent the last 5 years living like that, which may explain some of my behaviour. However, I'm in a Facebook group for eustachian tube dysfunction sufferers. And, dude, it is so engaged. That group is such an amazing support network for all of us in there. And it's super engaged. And there's no one in there who's owning the space or being the celebrity, primarily because this is a problem that can't be solved. No one's come up with a solution to this problem. But if you came up with a solution to this problem, it would be gravy. It would be so easy to capitalize on it if you could actually solve this problem, because there is a hungry audience there who are talking about something super weird and super niche that nobody else knows about, but they have connected and they're a real community. They're a real support community. So, just wanted to throw that in there. And Hans Thompson also says, finally made it from San Diego. I was spending too much time in the high-ticket sales funnel course. There you go, Hans. Fantastic. Excellent.
This is actually a great pairing because I everybody who's building sales funnels and they have these amazing funnels, this amazing content, they're filling their email list, they're doing all those things. And then it comes that time of the maintenance, right? You have this funnel, and then you're going, wow, I've actually got to be present online. I've got to figure out what I'm saying. I've got to keep the momentum going, right? Because you're not in launch mode all year round. So how do you prep for launch year? I know, maybe you, because you're a machine.
I'm a
right?
lunatic.
It's exhausting just thinking about how much you get done on a daily basis. But I know, but I will say the great thing is that the content strategy we talk about are things that you can do in like 10 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Like for everybody who doesn't realize it, I'm in Facebook 20 minutes a day.
I know. This is the thing that I'm in awe of with you. It's like you're everywhere, and I know that you're sunning yourself by the pool drinking red wine most of the time, but you're everywhere, and it seems like there's like 12 of you engaging with the audience.
Yeah, and I will say there's a huge differentiator because this course is not about how to take one piece of content and put it in 18 different places. This is not about being a million different places. That is a tactic to be all over the place. This is about exactly how to say the right things to the right people in the right places at the right time in the right way to ignite a flame so that you position yourself as an authority in that space instantaneously almost, if you do it the right way that we're going to teach you. And that gains over time, create engagement where the algorithms think that you are the most popular person alive, right? And start to create this thing where people say a few things. They start saying, you are everywhere. Everything you're saying is exactly what I needed to hear. This is what I needed today. And holy moly, how did you know that that's exactly what I wanted to get? How did you know that that's what I needed next?
Right.
Thank you for being there. It's like you're in my head. Like those are the things you'll start to hear when you learn the right content strategy. It's not about taking a piece of content that you create, putting it all over the place.
Correct.
It's about doing the right things in the right places.
And interestingly, Angie Neal, who has already bought the Content Strategy Blueprint, she actually said, like, I need this yesterday, right? Which is proof, because here's the thing, kids, we've actually been using a content strategy in the lead up to the launch, to the opening of this course. So if you feel like this is the course that you need right now, it's because Dana's genius content strategy is what we've been rolling out over the last few weeks in the lead up to the opening of this course, which is the worst kept secret on the internet right now, is that we're opening the cart for this course because we've very strategically been using content to stoke the fire and to take you on this journey. So proof that it works. Janet Pearson says, can I show this video to staff later today? Will I be able to share access? No, Janet, the minute this video is we're finished, it's going to self-destruct, just like in Mission Impossible. Now, of course, you'll be able to come back and show your staff the replay of this a little bit later on.
By the way, I love that you're snarky because it's your morning, and I'm snarky because it's the end of my day.
Yeah.
So we both hit like the snarky twilights.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we both have kids, so that kind of, I don't know what that tells you, but I think I'm just a bit snarky in general. I think what we should do is, for those people who are kind of sitting on the fence going, well, I think maybe I'm not sure about this course, but what's really in it for me? I think maybe we should just walk them through a very high level of maybe the 4 campaigns that they're going to learn.
Yeah. And I did want to say one thing too. One of the things I love about this course, which isn't something that I've ever done before, because you're the first one I've really done a big collaboration with, is we met for 2 days and we recorded, which means if you enjoy this banter that we're doing and you've taken courses where you're bored and you want to fall asleep, that is not this course.
That's
because
right.
there's two elements to what happens in the course. One is everything is Troy and me sitting down in a chair next to each other in the same room. We're going back and forth, and he's sort of almost interviewing me, questions, but positioning about exactly each of the goals and the 4 campaigns we're going to talk about, right? And then we made workbooks to help supplement so that you guys can actually walk through and fill things out. And I'm the one who fed them the content, and they made it look all beautiful and amazing from their design side, right?
Thank you, Ben. Big shout out to Ben Skeepers for that.
And then here's the other thing. Each of those workbooks has its own additional video of me screen sharing the workbook and giving you what I call thought joggers. So then instead of you watching the video and going, oh, that was fun and entertaining, and then going, okay, now I'm going to the workbook, what do I do? You now can watch the fun and entertaining strategic part that teaches you the knowledge and the understanding that you need to know. And then you can go to the workbook, and then I walk you through the workbook in a very tactical way of how do you brainstorm out these specific things for you, giving you thought joggers along the way. So it's literally the perfect pairing of these two things together that allow you to actually watch a fun, entertaining, exciting course that not only is going to change the way you run your business and the way you market your business, but it's also then being able to go in and do the tactical components of implementing and brainstorming what we're talking about.
But also, I think one of the things I want to touch on is, and you sell yourself short a little bit here because it's not only is it going to change the way that you approach content, but it's actually going to get you a lot more results with a lot less work. Like, I'm a big fan of leverage, and I thought I was pretty good at leveraging until I met you. And then I was like, holy hell, you are like the master at maximizing the minimum amount of effort. You know, it's
okay. Actually, let me say this. If anybody knows Amy Porterfield, I was on her show. We interviewed for her show this last week, right? So the episode's not out. We just did the interview. And it was about creating a 6-week buzz plan, which is literally just one thing that we teach you in this course, right? And at the end, she loved so much of what I talked about that she literally hired me to train her team, that just her community manager, to do what we talked about.
Wow.
So yeah, just to give you a sense of like that somebody who's online marketing all the time at the end of the hour, and her and I have met a couple, and we're not friends necessarily, but we're business acquaintances, and we've met before and hung out and had happy hour, before. But yeah, it's never been, it's like, I will pay you money. What is it for me to get you on a call with my community manager so that we can have you train her on these things?
Wow.
So
congratulations.
If Amy Porterfield
That's
thinks
awesome.
I'm smart, then I feel like you should think I'm smart too. I like
awesome.
to tell people that I don't try to be smart in anything that I don't need to be smart in, so that I can save all of my cunning for the stuff that's going to make me the most money. And honestly, if you want to talk about strategy, that's what you should do too, is stop trying to be good at all the things and let your brain ignore all those things and either hire people or just not be good at those things, to save all of your cunning to be exceptionally amazing at the one thing you're exceptionally amazing at. And I make $500 an hour, and it's pretty awesome to be able to say that with confidence. And it's because I don't waste my time on the stuff I don't need to be good at. I let other people do that.
Yeah.
And I get really good at the stuff I'm good at, which is this, which is teaching.
Awesome. So let's just walk people through very quickly the 4 different types of campaigns that they're going to learn in the Content Strategy Blueprint course and why they matter.
Okay. So number 1, we're going to actually set your content strategy goals. So it's taking a look at your business, what the position is, what we actually want people to believe and what they need to believe in order to engage with your content, to build authority in that space, to build awareness of you in the industry and what people need to believe. And then the last one is to actually convert, right? So we walk, and those sound like big, broad things, but we actually break them down very specifically into how we brainstorm out what your goals are, right? So we give you the workbook, actually works you step by step through how you brainstorm out the exact goals you should have for each of these 4 campaigns: your awareness campaign, your authority campaign, your engagement campaign, and your conversion campaign, right? Now, these campaigns can be run separately or they can be run together in an ongoing way. And one of the bonuses is actually our social planner, which shows you how to take all of this strategy, and it's the tactic that we use. It's a board that we use and a process that we use to actually plan out 90 days of content based around the social or based around your content strategy. So all the things in the 4 campaigns that we learned set the goals, and then we have a module for each of these 4 campaigns. And then one of the bonus actually then takes all of that you've mapped out, and by the end of the bonus, you will have 90 days of content down to the day.
Love it. Now, we are also including, just to be clear here, we're also including, first module, by the way, rolls out September 5. One of the main reasons we've done that is because at the moment, I think it's still school holidays, or it's about to be school holidays, right? So we want to make sure that you guys are super focused on accessing the content and not distracted. So we're rolling out the first module on September 5. This is pre-sale. So the deal that's available on the Content Strategy Blueprint course at the moment, which has a retail value of $997, it's available at the moment for $497. And the reason, we're in pre-sale mode at the moment, right? So this is an opportunity to get it at 50% off. I think there is also a payment plan available where you can pay 3 months of $197 a month. You're getting access to our Facebook group, lifetime access to the course and all future updates, lifetime access to the Facebook group. Dana and I are going to run a couple of coaching calls during the 6-week period to get your questions answered. You're also getting the bonus, which Dana just mentioned there, the Boss Mom social planning system, which is exactly how Dana plans out all social content for the Boss Mom. You're also getting a bonus lesson which will help you sell content strategy to your clients as an additional service, which is something that we always do. Is one of our core values here is we don't want to teach you stuff unless you can then, of course, on-sell those skills to your clients, and that's the easiest and quickest way to get a return on your investment. I think that's all I need to cover there.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I make $5,000 a day for somebody to come and work out their content strategy and their positioning with them. So $5,000 in a one-day sitting. When you know the things that I know and the things we teach, you can begin to move up to those prices as well.
Yeah.
Because honestly, think about it. I mean, for $500 for the course, that is one client, right? Not even one client those of you who build websites, right? Even think about it this way. That is getting all of the content and helping somebody work through their content strategy so they can figure out their content better for their website and for what they're doing and their positioning, getting it to you on time so you aren't staying up till 5 a.m. for a full week when 3 of your clients get you all of their content at the same time, even though you tried to plan it and space it out. Like, just imagine, it's worth $500 just to actually have people turn things in when they say they're going to turn things in.
100%. Jennifer Franklin says, that's awesome. Congrats, Dan. I think she's referring to the Amy Porterfield thing. Andrew, interesting question. Andrew says, what email marketing tool do you use or recommend to your students? Everybody wants to know the tools that we use. What do you use, by the way?
Yeah, actually, I use Ontraport. I know you use Infusionsoft.
Yes,
Confusionsoft,
right?
Both of us
we do.
use
yeah.
This is the rule that I say. You should always use an email tool that is rules-based and not contact-based. So I don't think you should have a MailChimp or an Aweber or a Constant Contact or any of those. I think you need to have if you really want to have a business that can scale and that can really truly nurture, then you need to be able to have things rules-based, which means when somebody takes an action in your email list, you can then target them in different ways.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. I mean, I've seen Drip work well. I've seen ConvertKit work well.
Yeah.
Kartra is relatively new and it works well. The only thing I will say is I am not a fan of ClickFunnels email system.
No.
That one, I don't think it's done well. I think they're really good at Pages, and I think they added on emails to try and fill the bucket, and I don't think they work well.
Yeah.
Ontraport and Infusionsoft both are a all-in-one system, and Kartra is an all-in-one system.
Yeah.
And to be honest, those are the only 3 that I think can really bring your business to the level that you want.
Yeah.
Even though they're more expensive, if you are truly in it to win it in your business, you're going to want a system that does all the things that it needs to do.
Yep. ActiveCampaign does good email marketing and marketing automation, but it doesn't do the e-commerce part that Ontraport and Infusionsoft and Kartra do. So you need to find something else for that solution there.
Yeah. Now, I will say, by the way, that for all of you designers, like Sam, who was on earlier, you can, Divi or Beaver Builder or whatever it is that I'm sure you guys all do custom coding to or whatever that is. But you can have a website that does the pages and all the stuff and connect it with Stripe. Yeah. I'm lazy and I like the system all in one, but that's just a preference. The main point is that I know people that have multi six-figure businesses that are in MailChimp.
Yeah.
It's totally possible. It's seriously not the tool you use that's going to make or break
That's right. It's the
content that you
strategy.
create.
That's right.
Yes.
Jackie Kearslake's got an interesting question. I noticed that the first module isn't going to be released until September 5, which is probably September 6 in Australia. Yeah, probably. Is there anything in the portal that we can be watching, reading while we wait for the first module to open?
Are we open? When are we opening the Facebook group? Does that open?
Oh, yeah.
earlier?
The Facebook group's open. I mean, so when you join, you'll get added to the Facebook group. So the Facebook group is the WP Elevation Study Lounge, which is where all of our course students end up, except those students who buy our Blueprint course. They're in a separate group for that. But you'll end up in the WP Elevation Study Lounge. So you'll be in there. You can start the conversation in there. But I don't think there's any... would you say there's any kind of pre-reading that they could be doing?
Oh, I'll tell you what. If you're getting in and you want to be able to do work before the 5th, there are some absolute wonderful questions and things to think about that I can make sure I am posting in that group between, now and when it opens, so that you can be ready to jump in and set those goals in that week and be like flying colors, ready to rock it.
Perfect.
So there's some things to think about what you already have, how
Perfect.
you're positioning yourself now that will hit the ground running.
Awesome. This has been fabulous. I'm conscious and respectful of everyone's time, including yours. I know that you have some children to collect, or rugrats as we call them here in Australia.
I know. It's apparently they can't stay at school forever.
I know. God damn, why not? Can't they drive themselves yet? So, hey, this has been awesome. I am, did you say lounge? Marcella Veron, no, it is the WP Elevation Study Lounge, which is that's the Facebook group that you'll be in when you buy the Content Strategy Blueprint course, which is available at courses.wpelevation.com/content-strategy. Get on over there. As I said, we're in pre-sale mode at the moment, so the course is available for $497 or 3 easy payments of $197 a month, and you'll get straight into the Facebook group. And as Dana said there, she's going to give us some pre-course homework to get stuck into. Hey, thank you once again. Yeah, go on.
Also, I was going to say too, if you're thinking about it and you're trying to figure out, you maybe haven't been watching the lives that we've been doing every week in the group, I encourage you to go over to the group that you have. Which group were we? Was it Mavericks?
It'll be most of it'll be in the Digital Mavericks Facebook group.
Okay, because if you aren't you don't know me, and maybe you don't even know Troy, not sure where it is. Every single week for the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been doing really amazing lives that dig into what we're talking about, and it will give you a really good sense of who we are and whether we know what on earth we're talking about. And that's one of the big things, is that if you're making a buying decision, you need to know that you can trust that we actually want to teach you some amazing skills that are going to help you create momentum and move your business forward, that we're not just blowing smoke up your skirt. And I think if you go back and listen to some of those lives, you can find that we are legit. We're legit.
There's one metric I think that proves this, right, is we've both got quite successful businesses. You've got a Facebook group with over 40,000 members that organically you have not spent money on Facebook ads to grow that group to 40,000, right? I've spent a truckload of money on Facebook ads I looked at my lifetime account. Your hair would curl, like over 7 figures on Facebook ads in the last however many years. I shudder to think. It works, right? But if I'd had a content strategy from day one when we started this thing 6 years ago, I reckon I could have spent maybe a third of what I've spent on Facebook ads to grow the business to where it is now.
You're gonna hate this. Okay, I don't have a business as big as yours, right? And you have a bigger team than I do, but I work 20 to 25 hours a week. Sometimes I hustle, but 20 to 25 hours a week. Our Facebook group is 40,000K, and we get about 100 people a day now asking to join. I get about 1,000 people organically a month into my email list that are just dropping in. I'm asked to be featured. I don't reach out to be featured necessarily. I ask to be featured on at least 2 to 5 podcasts a week. I've been featured in over 100 places. I get asked to speak in keynote all over the place, including being asked back again to Social Media Marketing World and co-facilitating an event with Mark Schaefer. Just really amazing things. I just took a look. I have spent less than $8,000 for the last 6 years on Facebook ads. So now, granted,
I'm doing
you
something
need
wrong.
Facebook ads to truly scale your business to the level that you have. I'm not saying that Facebook ads aren't amazing. I have a ton of clients that use them, and some of it's just because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
But I do want to tell you that what we teach you in this course is on that sales page. It literally says, if you have nothing to spend on ads, if marketing and content marketing is truly what you need to move your business forward, then this is the course that will teach you how to do that, because I am proof that it can happen without the ad spend.
Yeah, and I'll also tell you this, that if you do end up spending money on Facebook ads and you've got a great content strategy in place, then your ROI on your Facebook ads is going to go through the roof. If you spend money on Facebook ads without a great content strategy, you're just going to pay through the nose for customers. It's still totally possible, but your cost per customer is going to be a lot higher. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much again for gracing us with your genius, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Bye. Take care, gang. Courses.wpelevation.com/content-strategy. Get on over there and get your copy of the Content Strategy Blueprint course with myself and Dana Molstaff. We're on pre-sale here for a week. Cart closes next Wednesday. It's available for $497, which is 50% off the retail price. So we look forward to seeing you in the course. Until then, I'm Troy Dean. Go Elevate.